Today, I want to talk about a couple of things that I have recently seen with my students, a couple of people that I know that are going through right now technical interviews and internships, and people that have also gotten their first job in the tech industry. There are a couple of mistakes and bad habits in which I see a lot of people having to go through when it comes to learning how to code or actually becoming a beginner developer, and these bad habits left unchecked or uninvestigated can actually start affecting the confidence of your career growth, your feeling on how to solve problems, and eventually overall just kind of hurt the way that you investigate problems. And personally, I've gone through each and every one of these mistakes myself in some time in my life and career, some more recent than others. But there are different ways to get through them as long as you're able to identify them and at least find a way to solve the issue. Then you're on the right track. You're doing good. You're doing well. Now that I'm going back to being a teacher as well as studying for tech interviews myself, more on that later, I have started to profoundly notice more of these mistakes and bad habits. So I just want to share them with you today. I have 5 of them that I am wanting to share right now. But if you want the rest of them, as my title says, I am doing a collaboration today with my friend Naya and the Black female engineer. So if you're wanting to get the rest of the mistakes and bad habits, make sure that you check out her video. It is in the description box below, and I'll make sure that I link you to it. The first thing that I want to tackle, I think, is the most profoundly and primarily the biggest mistake people make. Do you even like coding? I know that this is a really interesting question to actually ask at any stage that you guys are going into development or a career in tech, but I feel like it's really important to ask yourself that as you kind of dive deeper into other advanced concepts and building projects. It is going to be really important to figure out whether or not your tenacity, as well as your willing to study, your motivation to study, your motivation to solve problems is intact as you go along trying to figure out learning more code. And having to make sure that you have this at least somewhat enjoyment with solving problems with code, that's going to be really important for your long-term career, because you never know where your career is going to actually be going. And if you don't like what you're doing, and if you don't like experimenting or solving problems, or even the language that you're messing around with, then you might need to start reconsidering what your purpose is for a tech career. I am definitely a fan of making sure that you get all the monies in the tech industry. I absolutely love that for people, but that can't be your only reason for being in the tech industry. So make sure that you understand what you're doing this for. Do you even like coding? Do you like the language that you've discovered? If not, then maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board. Find a free resource to figure out what exactly a language that you like. Pick a language and then start actually taking classes. Go to a boot camp. If you like computer science, then maybe that's a good route to find your research and figure it out. Go from there. I also see that a lot of my students particularly have picked way too many resources to try and solve a problem. We have the textbook, we have our sources of truth per se when it comes to having to learn and foster that growth for your bootcamp or for your self-learning and things. So it doesn't benefit you when you're confused on one thing that is supposed to be your source of truth, your main resource, and then you go on to 15 different things to try and figure out that one problem. There is a sense of overwhelm that I know that I have definitely felt when it comes to switching from resource to resource, and it just feels like you get stuck and it isn't fun. You feel like you're not getting anywhere when it comes to your learning, and it's hard. It's hard having to figure out what exactly you need in the moment. I feel it's incredibly important to not to overwhelm yourself, sticking to that source of truth, that one main resource, and then finding an alternative that is much more preferable to your learning style to help you understand what's going on in the source of truth material, to actually foster that growth and repetition of actually solving those problems. I think another big mistake is that we don't always ask or have the confidence enough to ask a person to be our mentors as we are beginning our coding careers. It is very easy to be discouraged and intimidated by people that have more experience than you, that seem to be very smart, very intuitive about their careers or whatever they're doing to solve a problem. But sometimes you just gotta get out there and ask. That action to just ask a person to be your mentor, to strike a conversation with them, is really all that it takes, because a lot of people out here are really wanting to start learning how to teach people, how to mentor people, and how to help them figure out what exactly their needs are when it comes to helping another person in their career. So you just really never know who would be willing to help you. All you gotta do is just ask. One way to help you do that is to watch one of my videos, How to Find a Mentor. I'll link that somewhere above me. But also, to make it a little bit easier, is my next subject, making sure that you actively find a community of people to help you, to inspire you, to watch you grow, to watch your progress, and potentially people to network with whenever you're ready to find a job or your next job. You know, I am personally active with Black Tech Twitter, Dev Community, Women in Tech. There are a bunch of places that are specifically on Twitter just alone, but there are different meetups that you guys can go to. You know, we're still in coronavirus, we're still in lockdown time, but you know, hopefully you can get a vaccine and go on out there and just meet people. Just do whatever you feel like you need to get that support that you need, that is just not from just a tiny computer. Another mistake and bad habit that I see beginner developers make is not being willing to just try to solve a problem. Even before you execute your code or start asking for help, just seeing exactly what is going on when you have a problem with a project or some type of homework, just not even like running it and asking if whether or not it's okay to run. This is not a bomb diffusing thing. This is not a situation where your mistake or whatever is being unsuccessfully run is going to completely like destroy the world, some apocalypse level stuff. It is very nice when it comes to programming that you get that instant feedback loop, and that's one of the big advantages of actually having to explore and be able to problem solve with your career, because the computer will tell you, the engine will tell you, hey, this is the line that you need to focus on when it comes to your problem. Let's investigate there first, and then you can start going from line to line to line to line to function to other solutions or variables and whatnot to see where exactly you can pinpoint that problem, start running it again, figuring out if whether or not this is the correct way, if it's not the correct way, and see where it goes from there. Start getting in down and dirty and investigate what exactly your problems are, try things out, and that will help you fail fast, help you learn, help you recover, and give you that confidence to just try anything. Just try to build things that you feel good about, that others will help encourage you to feel good about, and go from there. And as a reminder, I am doing a video collaboration with my friend Naya, the Black female engineer. And I'll tell you guys now, Naya has some really great videos on how she battles imposter syndrome, how she got her first developer job, and how her experience was with her first boot camp, as well as her current experience with her life and tech career as a software engineer. She's so dope. She's so awesome. Make sure that you check out the Black Female Engineer YouTube channel, and especially if you guys are looking for some projects to potentially take on, I would recommend the projects that got me my first developer job. That is what you're seeing right now on your screen. She is so dope. She's just so nice, and I absolutely adore her. Thank you so much, Naya, for collaborating with me today. So if you want more resources on the mistakes that beginner developers make sure that you check my description box. I will link her video below. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure that you follow Naya as well, and I'll see you later.